In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up an automated follow-up system for your lead generation ads on Facebook. Every single tool that I use or whatever resources I mentioned will be linked in the description of this video. Now, essentially what we're doing is tying Facebook to the tool that we're using, which is Gohighlevel, and then let Gohighlevel handle all the automations, the follow-up, the initial text message reply to the leads, and emails and voicemail drops and all that good stuff so that we have an opportunity to close more of these deals. Now, by default, Facebook lead ads, when you create one, the lead actually lives inside of Facebook and you have to go out and fetch it, which creates a real problem for us if we're on job sites. We don't always get notification that that lead came through, and therefore we may miss opportunities because these people may go somewhere else. In order to fix this problem, I like to use Gohighlevel, and I use Gohighlevel just simply because everything is in one house under one roof, and it's pretty simple to set up. So from within Gohighlevel, this is what it looks like when you first sign up to Gohighlevel. The very first thing that we have to do is connect Facebook to the Gohighlevel system. And this is pretty straightforward. On the left hand menu here, what you want to do is go all the way down to settings and click on settings. From within settings, scroll all the way down to the left hand pane menu and find the option that says integrations. Once you're there, it's going to bring you to the integration screen where you are able to connect things like your Google My Business, your Google Calendar, Stripe, along with a few other things, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, everything else that a few other integrations in here. What we want to do is find this icon or the section that's got the Facebook and Instagram logo, and you're going to click connect. And it's going to open a window where it will allow you to authenticate to your Facebook personal profile. Now, again, you need a Facebook account in order to do this. Once you connect, it's going to open up a screen that's going to show you a list of all the pages that you have access to. If you only have one, you may only see your business page in here. But find the page that you want to integrate or you want to connect to Gohighlevel, which is essentially the page where your Facebook ads are running from. Select it and then click continue and connect at the very bottom. Once you do this, you're going to get another screen that is basically asking you if you want to go ahead and configure the form fields from those lead ads. Right now, I'm going to choose I'll do it later because I'm going to show you exactly where to go to connect this in case you have maybe multiple ads, multiple forms. Now, once you're connected, you'll see that it says connection is active and you'll have the page listed right there. Now, the next thing that you have to do is select your ad account. So click on this chevron icon that's here, expand it, and it'll show you a list of all the ad accounts that you have available to you. Just pick the one that corresponds to you. This is where your ads are going to be running from, and make sure you highlight that ad account in there. Now we're going to go and connect the actual form to Gohighlevel. So at the very top, you're going to see a few more menu items. One of them is going to say Facebook form fields, and this is the one that we're going to use. That's right up next to TikTok and LinkedIn form field map. So you're going to choose Facebook form fields. Now, once you click on the Facebook form field mapping section, you're going to see a list of all the forms that are available for that business page. Now, in order to actually activate a form, we need to map the field. So if you can see the top form here that says junk, I'm going to use this one as an example. It's not currently mapped to the system. And so I'm going to click on map fields. This is going to open a box that is basically going to have all the form fields that you added inside of that Facebook form. If they are pre-filled form fields, meaning that it's going to be things like name, phone number, email, zip code, address, those kind of things, they're going to be pretty easy because they're going to be right here. All we need to do is highlight a field and make sure that it matches the name that we want. So if this is full name, choose it, put full name. If this is email, expand this and then pick email from this list right here so that it maps it correctly. Same thing with phone number and zip code. Now, these other ones that I have here, these are custom fields. And in order for me to map a custom field, I have to have this field that exists. So if I expand in here, I can see that I have an actual field called, do you need junk removal? So what kind of service are you looking for? That's what I want. And I select where I want these fields to be mapped. Now, once you have these fields mapped, I'm just going to go ahead and just pick a few in here. Once I have it mapped, I click confirm, and this actually toggles the form to be on. If the form is not mapped, then the leads are not going to come into Gohighlevel. So just make sure that you're mapping this. Now, if you go and create multiple campaigns on Facebook, maybe use a different form or a new form for every single campaign, you have to come in here and activate and map that form to the system. If you're using the same form for multiple campaigns, you don't really have to do that because the form has already been mapped and it only has to happen once. So now that we've done this, we have officially connected the Facebook business page to Gohighlevel, and we have mapped the actual form field that is connected to our ad. So any lead that comes through that form will now be imported and populated into Gohighlevel. And because we connected the actual business page, any lead or any Facebook message or Instagram message that somebody DMs us on Instagram or Facebook will also be imported into Gohighlevel, so you can have a contact record created and you can nurture some of those leads. Now we're moving on to the part where we set up all the automations to do the lead handling and follow up. So on the main section of Gohighlevel, there are a few things that we are going to be configuring. Number one is going to be an opportunities pipeline. Basically, what we want is we want to see a visual of the leads that are coming in. Aside from them being a contact record, we also want them in different stages. Maybe we want new leads coming in. Hot leads are the ones that maybe we are having conversations with, and then the ones that need follow-up, etc. You can set up a pipeline that has multiple cards in it, maybe something like new leads, people who you've given estimates to, products that are being sold or services that are being sold, etc. In order to do this, you're going to go on the left hand pane and you're going to click opportunities, and then click on the top menu item is going to be opportunities, pipelines, and bulk actions, and you're going to click on pipelines. Once you select pipelines, we are going to create a new pipeline, and we're just basically going to give it a name. I'll just say new pipeline. Right there, this usually is the name of your business, and I'll say a new lead came in, a lead was contacted, a proposal or estimate was sent. Okay, estimate was sent, and the deal was done, or the job was was closed. Right, estimate, and I'm just gonna leave it there, and it's gonna be a new pipeline. Now that we've got a pipeline created, we need to set up the automation to put the leads into this pipeline and categorize things for you. So on the left hand pane, you're going to come down to the section that says automations, and you're going to click on that. Now, if you're just starting out with Gohighlevel and you're just getting this set up, you're not going to have a bunch of folders, a bunch of automations like I have. Obviously, it's going to be blank, but I'm going to walk you through this entire process of how we do things. Also, there are resources linked below this video. If you do choose to use Gohighlevel, I have a snapshot that you can grab from the description of this video that imports pretty much our entire build, so that you can import it into your service business, and it'll be like 90 to 95% complete. All you have to do is change out a few names and details, and the entire flow will be built. But what I'm going to show you now is just sort of the basics of building out a standard follow-up system or a standard lead engagement system, but the snapshot contains a lot more workflows involved with that to help people close more deals. So very first thing that I'm going to do is create a workflow. So I'm going to click on create workflow, and I'm got a few options in here. I can build it from scratch, or I can build it using the AI agent. Well, we're going to build it from scratch just so you can see what that process looks like. But Gohighlevel also has this kind of nifty little tool where you can tell it what you want it to do, and it kind of gives you like a framework of things. But I'm going to click build from scratch, and it's going to open the workflow builder here. Now this is the standard builder. I'm going to the advanced builder, and it's kind of look like drag and drop kind of things. Very first thing is I'm going to label this. I'm going to say Facebook leads, and I'm going to say epoxy, because this is going to be an epoxy ad. Now, in order for me to start this, I need to click on a trigger action. This is the first domino. Basically, what we want to trigger this entire next step. Think of this as an if this, then that. If this happens, then I want that thing to execute. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to say Facebook. And basically, what I'm telling the system is if I have a Facebook form, if I have a Facebook page, and the form on this Facebook page is this one here, anytime somebody fills out that form, I want something else to happen. And what I want to happen is I want to immediately send a text message to that person who filled out the form. Hi, this is Armando, and I'm with ABC Company. Thanks for reaching out on Facebook about an estimate for your epoxy garage. And then I typically say something like, is this a 2 or 3 car garage? The initial first message is going to happen instantly because Facebook lead forms have a phone number. People are giving it to you. You can instantly send them a text message identifying yourself and letting them know that you received their inquiry. And usually this is the message that we kind of send out or something very similar to this. Now, we are seeing a 80 to 90% reply rate with text messages when we ask a question like this, or when it's open-ended and we just want to verify a few things as opposed to just going right in for a sale, right? So this is a lead. Usually they'll respond yes or no, or 2 car garage, 3 car garage, whatever. Now, once this comes in, there's a couple of other things that I want to happen. I want to get notified as a business owner that a lead came in instantly, because maybe what I want to do is pick up the phone and call them immediately. But as it stands right now, a Facebook form came in, a Facebook lead came in. It doesn't matter what time of day they just came in right now, and a text message goes out to that lead or that contact record so that I can instantly contact them. Now, I want to add a notification. Maybe what I want to do is I want to send a notification to my team. And maybe I want to send an SMS notification, and I want to send it to, all the users who have Gohighlevel. So maybe I'm the owner of the company and I use Gohighlevel, but I also have sales and, a few other people that help me. They also have access to this. When I say this, when the lead comes in, they're going to get notification of that lead inside of Gohighlevel as well. Next, I may also want to send a text notification to myself. Maybe, hey, I want to get notified via text when these leads come in. And I can just pick myself from the list, or I can add a custom number in here. So I can add a custom number and just type that custom number in here so that I can send it to people, 555-5555. In the message that I sent to myself, I can include the contact's first name, I can include the lead's phone number, the lead's email, and whatever else that they mentioned that they were interested in the form when they filled that out. So at this point right now, we have a Facebook lead ad that is connected to a Gohighlevel account. The form has been filled in. The moment a form gets filled on Facebook and these people become a lead, they will automatically enter Gohighlevel. A contact record will be created with their name, their email address, and whatever other lead information I wanted so that I can see it. A text message will instantly go out to them. Notification will go to my entire team, and a text message notification will come out to me as the owner of the business, so that if I happen to see it, I can reach out to them and connect with them. Now, there's a lot of things that I want to happen in here, and I'll show you a full build out here in a few minutes, but I want to show you just kind of how we build this stuff out. Now, say for example that the lead replies one way or another. I want to continue that conversation. If the lead doesn't reply, I want to continue to nurture that lead. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that this lead also gets added to that pipeline where I know a new lead came in, so that I can keep rather tab of the leads that have come in, the ones that we've contacted, the ones that we've given estimate to, and the ones that we've closed, and the ones that we have not been able to reach, because that's ultimately going to help me determine whether my ads are successful, whether my return on my investment is here, or whether I have an internal problem. Maybe my people are not reaching out to them in time and it's causing a bottleneck in the system. So for that, I want to make sure that I want to add this, and I want to create an opportunity of every single one of these leads that come in. So I'm going to click opportunity create it, and I'm just going to say I want these people to go into my new pipeline, and I want to make sure that the opportunity name is my contact's name. Okay, I also want to make sure that I add a few other pieces of information in here. I want to make sure that the stage that they're in is going to be in the new lead stage, and I want to make sure that the status of that opportunity is open, because we haven't really created, or contacted them at all. Next thing that I want to do is I want to wait to see if they respond, and if not, I want to follow up with them in about 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I'm going to wait, right? I'm going to wait for a reply. So this is a time delay reply, but I want to wait for a contact to reply to the initial SMS, or if the contact doesn't respond within 15 minutes, I want to create an additional action. So this is what that's going to look like in here. So if the contact, replies, right? If they reply, I want to send a text message acknowledging them and letting them know something. So let's say they reply with 1 or 2 car garage. I'm going to say, great. Can you send me a couple pictures, and I'll give you a ballpark estimate. Right now, this totally depends on your sales process. You don't have to have people send pictures. You don't have to have them do this process. You can have them schedule a phone call with you. You can have them schedule on the calendar. It just really depends on your sales process. Every sales process is a little bit different for service businesses. Now, once I have that in here, I'm going to wait for a timeout. Let's say the contact does not respond within those 15 minutes. I want to follow up after the 15 minutes, and I want to say something like, are you still interested in this? Okay, or in getting an estimate, right? And I want to save that, and that's going to be a workflow. So now what we've done here is we have created a very basic system where every single lead, regardless of whether I'm on a call, I'm on a job, I am busy, I'm doing stuff, will get immediately a text message. So we will address them instantly, not within 2 minutes, not within 3 minutes, not within 4, but instantly. We're also getting notifications out to myself or to my team so that they can do their due diligence and call and follow up and do what they need to do on their end. We are waiting for them to respond, and if they respond back, we are instantly engaging them, asking them for pictures to give them an estimate, and if they do not respond within 15 minutes, we're following up within 15 minutes. Now, this basic automation alone has the possibility of increasing your contact ratio and the amount of leads that you close just by it being so simple, right? I don't want to make this video 3 hours long, but I want to show you that now you've officially connected your Facebook ad with Gohighlevel, and this is how you set up automations. I'm going to show you a workflow that we've got, which is what we include in the snapshot, so that you can use it if you want to, and I'll show you kind of how that's built. Now, this is a working workflow, and it's one that we use for pretty much every service business, and it's one that we set up and we sort of evolve or built on, I should say, but it's got 95% of all the things that service businesses need. So as soon as a lead comes in, I'm going to show you what that looks like. Again, we have the same thing, demo page, and we're able to select the form that we want. You can select multiple ones or not, but we've got the same one that we want there. As soon as that comes in, an opportunity gets created in that pipeline, a tag gets added so that we know that it comes from Facebook, and then we have business hours of operation, because we know that handling leads within business hours is different than handling leads outside of business hours. Obviously, if a lead comes in at 12 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock in the morning, we're not going to want to have a voicemail drop or anything like that. So there's going to be things that we need to adjust. So if a lead comes in within business hours, we instantly get notification via text message. We send a voicemail drop to that customer, which means that it is a ringless voicemail. So somebody fills out the form on Facebook. Instantly, within 30 seconds, they get a ringless voicemail with a message that says, "Hey, this is Mike from ABC Epoxy. I noticed that you requested some info, just reaching out. Sorry I missed you. I'll follow up with you, through text." An email also gets instantly sent to that lead so that we can follow up with them and reach out to them via email. Instantly, we send a text message to them as well, just like what we went over a few minutes ago. So they're getting an instant voicemail drop, an instant email, and an instant text message right away. We're waiting 30 seconds, and usually we're bridging a conversation. So that means the system goes out and dials out the lead, and it dials you out. And if the lead picks up the phone, then the call gets bridged. This is in addition to the text notifications that go out to you, your team, and everyone else to do their due diligence and call the lead out. At this point, we're waiting about 15 minutes, and if the lead automatically replies or instantly replies to our initial text message, then we send them down this rabbit hole here, which is a conversational AI booking bot. Basically, what this thing is connected to ChatGPT with a set of instructions, and we have conversations with the lead. And we train this. This is trained specifically on your business and what you want it to say, what you don't want it to say. And it's very dynamic. So if somebody says, yes, I got a 3-car garage, this thing might say, okay, great. Can you send me a couple pictures? I'll get you a ballpark estimate. And if the guy responds back, well, I'm not at home right now, can I send them later? Then the bot will respond, yeah, no problem. We'll follow up with you later on today, and it'll create a task, do all those things. If the lead does not respond within 15 minutes, then we send an additional text message. Hey, are you still interested in this kind of thing? And if the lead happens to respond, then we loop them back around into the conversational AI bot. So that's what happens there. After hours, it's pretty much a similar process, except that we are not calling and we are not initiating a voicemail drop, because it's just weird to call somebody at 1, 2 o'clock at night or at 11 o'clock at night if that's not within your business hours of operation. So all we're doing here is sending a text notification, letting them know that it is after hours. Hey, you reached us after hours. When are you available to chat? Is it a 2 or 3-car garage? And then the bot continues to have conversations with them so that there can be a communication established for the very next business day. Okay, that is the entire full workflow of what we set up when we're running Facebook ads. So all in all, we are probably having 4 to 5 to 6 different points of touch contacts within the first minute of the lead coming through. In addition to this, we have other follow-up systems set up if the lead does not respond. So if they do not respond, they go into what's called the short-term follow-up sequence. And basically, this gets even a little bit more advanced. If the lead does not respond within 1 day, then the system continues to follow up with them pretty much daily for the next 5 days until they either say, yes, I want this, and they respond, or if they respond with, no, I'm not interested, then it puts them in a completely different bucket. If after, let's say day number 5, they still don't respond, then they go into what's called a long-term nurturing sequence. And this is how we're able to kind of set things up so that our Facebook leads become profitable and have more conversations with us as business owners, and we're able to close more of those deals. All these leads are then managed within Gohighlevel right here, and you can kind of see that we have can have conversations with them as we see fit. We have the opportunity section that displays pretty much all the leads that have come through. If a lead is engaged, then the system will automatically move him here. If an estimate is pending, then we have automations that move them in these different stages of the pipeline. Once somebody is booked and a service is sold, we also have automations that move them in here that will ask for reviews, and they would create other sort of actions for your business. So this really allows for the entire ecosystem of leads to be managed, and for solving really where the biggest gap is, which is the follow-up. This is where most small businesses are losing the money. It's not on the ads up front, but it's the fact that they do not have a proper structure for marketing automation, sales automations, or operations. And this actually fills that gap and solves a lot of those problems for you, not only for Facebook, but for other mediums as well. You can tie your Google ads to this, your TikTok ads, your Instagram ads. You can tie your website leads and your website ads, or your website forms that come through. You can tie all this together and have this system kind of self-manage a lot of processes for you. So if this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, leave me a question. I'll try to get to it. And all the resources, like I said, I mentioned, are in the description of this video.